Would you mind just introducing yourself?
Well, thank you. So my name's Matt Long, and I'm the head of distribution and prime brokerage at OSL. OSL is, I guess, one of the world's leading digital asset platforms. We're really focused on building the institutional framework for the adoption of digital assets into institutional and professional investors.
So you're really in a front page of everything going on from institutional, from regulation standpoint in crypto. And you mentioned that you're based in Hong Kong, Singapore, right? Singapore, yeah. And so can you tell me about what's the overall climate for digital assets in Asia and Singapore?
We're really at the forefront of the evolution of, I guess, the regulated institutional adoption of digital assets. There's a lot going on in Asia. We are the only licensed digital asset platform in Hong Kong, for example. We've really fostered and grown the regulatory framework and been a part of that in Hong Kong, which has, I guess, facilitated institutional adoption. We actually announced a partnership earlier this week with Interactive Brokers to be able to provide their professional investing clients in Hong Kong a means of safely, securely dealing with a regulated platform. The Singapore market is also extremely vibrant. The Monetary Authority of Singapore has fostered a very open, innovative environment for digital assets, which continues to evolve. We look down to Australia. The regulations in Australia have also are evolving very, very quickly. I guess all of those things together are allowing institutions, be they asset managers, banks, wealth managers or wirehouses, all of that, it's allowing them to make digital assets available for their customers.
I hear from many people, I'm sure you do too, that with the regulation, the digital digital currencies would either cease to exist or they become obsolete. From my perspective, it's the opposite. But coming from institutional side, what do you think we're looking forward? Let's say 3-5 years down the road, when obviously the SEC and other countries will have much stricter and tighter regulation in place. What's your outlook to the future?
Probably the best way to answer that question is our view of what digital assets are. It's an asset class. The underlying technology provides the framework that is effectively an asset class. And so when you think forward to 5 years hence, as you suggested, it's unequivocal that we will have a regulatory frameworks globally that allow large institutions to trade, invest in this asset class in the same way they do equities or commodities or foreign exchange or bonds. To be able to do that and to be able to offer to clients, there simply must be a clear regulatory framework. So I'm with you. I think regulation, it doesn't hinder, it actually helps foster broader adoption.
So also, because you're talking about underlying technologies, and we're talking about, what is digital assets, what is DeFi, and what is the difference between cryptocurrencies versus the DeFi, because I think a lot of people don't understand that there is actually a tremendous difference between technology, the underlying technology, and that's create the future of DeFi, and just cryptocurrencies.
And it's something I think that's really important for people as they are, be they individuals or institutions or pensions, as they begin their journey into their digital asset strategy and investing, is to do the homework. To start to test. We deal with a lot of institutional clients that will actually just start testing and run proof of concepts and tests, so that they learn and they understand the differences of everything that you're talking about. It's sort of in the same way that investors very clearly understand what's a stock market, what's a stock, what does an underlying company do, how does the cash flow operate. Similarly, as investors move into digital assets, they start understanding, exploring what different underlying protocols, blockchains do, and what the opportunity is for them to grow.
And what's your company's goal and the vision? What are the plans? What are you trying to accomplish, and what problem you're solving?
Our mission and our vision is really clearly to lead the institutional adoption of digital assets. We We don't deal with retail. We are really firmly positioned to help institutional investors on their journey into digital assets. We help them understand, and I guess this is the thing, most of the banks that we work with or the wealth managers that we work with, they now have long-term strategies for digital assets, and they're building to that and they're working through that. And so that's really where we see the adoption, where we see that. So Bitcoin price fluctuations, markets up and down, we'll see those headlines, but all the building that's going on behind that a lot of people don't see at the institutional level is really significant.
And from your company perspective, what would you like to add, and what would you like the audience to know about who you are, and why you're here at Consensus, and what you like to get out of this conference as well?
Firstly, it's given that it's the first sort of physical in-person Consensus that's been held now in 3 years, it's very good to come back and interact with people. As we've been talking with people, it's quite amazing how quickly digital assets have moved. The last time that the Consensus was held, there really wasn't much of a concept of DeFi or NFTs, and 3 years fast forward, and we've got innovation, complete innovation. It's very good to get back into, to interact again with the communities. For us, it's very important to be meeting and talking to those that are similarly aligned to us, I think, in thinking about institutional adoption and as regulate. I mean, there's been some significant announcements about regulation in the US in the last week. So for us, meeting with people, talking to people, understanding what people are thinking and how that's going to shape things going forward. I mean, that's what we want to be able to get out of it.
Wrap it up. If you had a crystal ball, right now markets are being very volatile, both crypto and regular markets. Since we're talking about the crypto, how do you see what's going on right now in the crypto markets? Because before they were going opposite. Right now, crypto markets is pretty closely correlated with NASDAQ. So can you talk a little bit about what's going on? Why is it down? Is it going to be going down, or is it good for the future? And just how you see that downturn right now in the market.
Look, I think a couple of key points here. It's an asset class. It's an asset. It's going to trade up and down. It still exhibits fairly high volatility. This is to be expected in a fairly new asset class. We're going to continue to see that. There will be market sell-offs and there will be rallies. It's unequivocal. Second point is what we're seeing, and really interesting. This sell-off. These times we're seeing different pools of money coming in to buy this time. And that sort of goes to the point of those larger institutional funds and investors who've been building their platforms and their approvals and their mandates to be able to buy over the last couple of years. We're seeing some of that money come into markets now. And then I think the third point is the very large institutional investors, they're not concerned with this. They're taking a 5-year view. This is an asset class. We'll continue to build and build and build despite market sell-offs and rallies.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate your insights and input. Hopefully the audience would find it also very insightful. And like you said, always do your own research before getting into anything, right? All right. Well, thanks so much.